Alright, what is up, everyone? So I've been doing a lot of jungle tier lists, but I wanted to change it up a bit, and I decided to make an all-position tier list. So this is going to be every role, and we're just going to go over each role from top to support. And I've listed out a group of champions that I think stand out and currently are probably the best champions to pick up or currently play in the patch 12.13. Alright, so let's get started. To the very top, the island, the isolation room, we have Darius. Darius, I think, is actually the best top laner in the game in solo queue to either main or just be playing. I think he's very oppressive. I think he's disgusting, and I just think there's a lot of power in Darius in the current meta of the durability changes. With his true damage ulti, he's a very oppressive top laner. Next to him, we have Camille. Camille's always a great champion. I just think a lot of true damage top laners have been excelling after durability change. That's why you see them so common on the tier list. True damage, Camille has always been a menace. I think she still scales incredibly well. And with the Divine Thunder changes, I think it's still perfectly fine for Camille to play early game. And, she's a great champion to pick up, high skill, but high reward. Same thing with Fiora. Fiora has been nerfed a bit multiple times, but she's still top tier because, well, true damage, max health true damage is very oppressive for a lot of top laners. And these three, I think, are like the core trio that I think are the most oppressive top laners in the current patch. And they have been pretty oppressive for some time now. Great champions, great champions. The ones next to them are more like tanky, AP, utility oriented. Mordekaiser, I think, is low key, performing very well from the shadows. So people have underestimated Mordekaiser, but I think he's a great champion too to pick up. If you're into that darkness shit, great champion to go for. Mordekaiser, good AP top laner. Second next to him, we have Sejuani. Sejuani has been a very staple competitive pick, but I also think she's quite strong in solo queue. Sejuani top actually started from solo queue. It was an Ignite TP angle. People abused it a lot in Korean solo queue. And now it's currently being abused a lot in competitive games, but I still think Sejuani is a great solo queue pick. She might get nerfed in the future, but these are the staple 5 champions in the top lane that I think you guys should be playing. All right, moving on now to jungle. Jungle, we've already kind of went over the jungle tier list, but I'll just go over it again. Trundle, I think, is the easiest jungler in this list to play. I think he's a great champ. He's well-rounded. I do like Divine Thunder going into Titanic Hydra build. I think it's just great. And I think he's just a great champion, very well-rounded. Wukong, same thing. All the nerfs they've done to Wukong, he's still a great jungler, probably the best jungler. In the patch currently, he's just very well-rounded. Great changes. Diana, not the only good AP jungler, second best AP jungler in the patch. She's great. I think she's a great pitch up. The Nashers into the Sunfire build is very oppressive, and I think that's the best build path you should be doing on Diana. Rek'Sai, you know how I feel about Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai is the queen. She's just so disgustingly good. I'm 950, almost 50 LP. Currently playing mostly Rek'Sai because she's just so goddamn strong on the patch. I highly recommend you play her. But she is a one-trick champion, so you're going to have to invest a lot of time into Rek'Sai if you want to really get that money value. Next to her, we also have a one-trick champion, Fiddlesticks. Highly recommend you one-trick him if you play him. Currently, he's probably the most broken champion, broken jungler on the patch. Very oppressive. I think he's not that hard to actually pick up. You just have to watch a couple of videos on his clear speed, and I think you'd actually be pretty easy to pick up on him and terrify your opponents. So those are my jungle tier list. That's 5 champions that I think are great for you to pick up or just be interested in. Now moving on to the mid lane. Mid lane is the center point of the universe. These are the people who have the biggest egos, the ones who think they're so cool, too cool to roam. And first we have Zed. Zed's the staple mid assassin. I think there are a few mid assassins that do stand out even after durability change. So people have been complaining a lot about the, lethality being buffed again, but these assassins are the rare cases that many other mid laners are going to just be these control mages. So Zed is one of the few. Very strong lane, very good ultis, very strong as a one-trick champion, and also very strong in lower elo. So definitely watch out for the Shadow Man. Next one we have Victor. I didn't really have a great picture for him, so we're just going to use this like smug picture. Victor is a staple pick. I think he's probably the most well-rounded in the mid lane category. I think he just always does well. He's a good burst of magic damage. He's just not great early game, so I don't like having him with the aggressive jungler. I think he does great as a wave clear, kind of sit back control mage, AFK farm champion. So Victor, great champion, very good, well-rounded. Kiana. So Kiana, one of the other assassins that I actually think probably one of the best mids on the patch. So even though people have gotten tankier and gotten more armor, these are the champs that actually had she's one of the few that had so much more damage in her kit that the extra durability you're getting doesn't really change how she wants to burst you. So Kiana's still a staple pick. They might actually buff her next patch, and then I think she's going to be super broken. But right now, I think if you want your Kiana mid, you're probably living the good life because she's super, super oppressive. Next year, we have Talia. Talia just got a slight buff, and I think she's actually better mid than she is jungle. I think she's just a great round pick. She's a great roamer. I think pushing the wave and roaming is just a perfectly staple solo queue, strategy. Just push mid, roam, kill bot. That's huge for mid laners. That's what gets them going in the morning. So who does that great? Talia. Talia Q's exceptional at pushing waves. So if you have that kind of play style, you want to roam a lot, then Talia can definitely be the champion for you. Next, we have Sylas. Sylas is more of that fighter mid. It's more about that overhealing, making the team feel bad about not having the Grievous we know more. So I think after the Grievous nerfs, that's why Sylas is higher on my list. I think he's actually very hard to control once his W gets going and his healing. So he's a great pick if you like that kind of in-your-face lane phase. But his early game is definitely not as good as the range champions. Last here we have Vex. Vex is the low-key, super broken mid that no one really knows about right now. She's so broken. I don't see her in my games that often because NA players are stupid, but she is the best mid in the game currently. I highly recommend just get on the Vex life. Her Q damage is insane. She does so much burst. She pairs so well with aggressive junglers. If you guys like the gloomy emo life, then I highly recommend to get on the Vex train. She's my staple pick for the mid lane. I think guys should either get on that train or just ban it because Vex is gonna come in hot. All right, 80. 80 is a bit short. I didn't really get to add because some of these picks are crossovers where Seraphine could be an 80 pick and Senna can also be an 80 pick. And I think those two paired with like Tom Kench and, AP carry, Seraphine are still great 80 picks. But more of the traditional pick right now, I think Sivir is the best 80 carry in the game. I think the rework was actually huge for her. Even after the hotfix nerf, she's still exceptionally strong. Neela didn't make the list because the hotfix nerf actually hurt her pretty hard. But Sivir still stands out very well with her W. Just being able to wave clear so well. I highly recommend you guys get on the Sivir train. Very good champion. Twitch the rat. He's just so good in solo queue because of how oppressive he can be. He can just stuff up on you and just rat tat 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 tat. That's a bit of a situation. So Twitch has just been quite strong since the durability changed, and he's always been around for the 80 picks. Jin is just like, the cool kid who just sits alone at lunch. He just really doesn't really socialize, and you don't really notice him until he's just in your face with the fourth shot. Jin, I personally think he has been very strong, but he's just someone who kind of hides behind the curtain and shoots you from far away. I think Jin is actually a great pick. There's always a lot of Jin players climbing in my games, and from seeing people play Jin, I think Jin is just such a good 80 carry, such a staple pick for the 80 carry role. Next, we have Draven. We have Draven. Draven is Draven. He runs at you. He throws axes. He beats you down hard. He kills you. That's what Draven does. And that's why Draven is still a great champion. He's just a very strong laner. Lane phase is still very important, especially after the dragon changes next patch. Dragons are going to be worth more. So picking champions that are stronger for lane are going to reward you greatly because you're going to be able to stack dragons that are going to give you better stats. But on this patch, Draven is still a great pick. Pairs really well with the aggressive lanes. Supports that want to kind of fight and duel people. These are the ones that Draven really excels at. He just does so much more damage than you would ever expect. Those are my 80 carry picks. Remember, they cross over with some of the support picks, but that's my list. So going on to the last and final ones is support tree. Yeah, loving the durability change. We're loving the enchanter meta. Enchanters. Do you guys love enchanters? Because that is what the support is currently. It's very broken. Enchanters, healing, shielding is out of control in the game. It's disgusting. It's reflected by win rate statistics all over for the support pool. I hate it. I don't like it. But it is what it is. So let me just give you guys some staple picks. Right now, I think Janna is actually a great enchanter. If you know how to play her, she is exceptionally strong. I really love the Janna. I personally play Janna a lot. I can't believe I said that, but she's a great support for the enchanter role if you like more of a kind of the tornado role. And the easier one I would recommend is Yuumi. Yuumi is still a classic, easy support pick. You attach, you get value, W. she's the more easier one if you want to approach that. And also Lulu would fall in that category. If you want the easier supports, I highly recommend learning just picking up the Lulu. The Yumi, I think they're great. Yumi requires more specific AD pairings, but Lulu's just more well rounded. You can kind of pick her into anything. And she generally fits the comp pretty well. So those are the good, easy supports. You have Seraphine. She's a bit more different, but you know, Seraphine is broken. I can't believe they buffed her new skin sales, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to go into detail about her. I really hate her. And I just don't want to see her anymore. Renata is actually a higher skill enchanter. And I think Renata has been under the radar without getting nerfs, but she's always like very much stood out to me. So I think the players who play her are really good, but I also think she's just very strong in the right hands. I think she denies a lot of engaged comp. So if the team is picking engage, Renata is just, you know, like that clean pick to go for. And then you have Senna. Senna pairs really well with Tom Can. She can swap between AD and, you know, Feast and Famine Senna, stuff like that. Very well rounded. I think she also benefits from the Enchanter role. She got nerfed a bit, but she still stands out as a great support pick. So, you know, if you like her, you're into that kind of stuff, you know, Senna's a great pick for you. And lastly, Blitz. So what Blitz does is Blitz just shits on all these little female hooligans. Like, he just pounds each one with a hook. So that's why he makes the top tier list. He's only good because the current picks in support role are the ones that he can hook in and just pound right there. So that's why Blitz is on the list. He's great for engaging against these kind of, you know, low mobility comps. That's what stands out for him too. Pike, same thing, definitely fits that role. And that would actually just be the whole summary of the support role. You got enchanters, and then you got Blitzcrank. And that's going to be my all role tier list. You know, I hope you guys learn something. I hope you guys find a champion you're going to be playing on the next few patches, because I personally think this is these are the best picks you can go for, and I hope you find something you like in each position. So let me know what you think in the comments below. If you guys like that video, be sure to let me know. And yeah, no, I'll see you guys in my next one. So take care, farewell, ciao, bye bye.